Cool, and we're live. Welcome everybody for our fireside chat here with Stake DAO. Hatashi, thanks so much for having us.
How's
Amazing,
it
man.
going,
Glad to
man?
be here.
Yeah, so we're gonna dive deeper into our partnership, talk a lot about Stake DAO, but before we get into it, all that good stuff, Hatashi, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about you?
For sure. I'm a core contributor at Stake DAO. Been there since the beginning, pretty much. So mainly working on the product side, and yeah, general, I guess, like fireman. Like if something needs to be done, I tend to put my hand up, whether that's stupidly or otherwise, and yeah, just kind of help out. So really enjoying myself. I think it's been over a year now, but the contracts have been live for just under a year. So we've got our anniversary coming up in about a month. I don't know if it's too early to drop alpha or not, but we've got some special things planned for our first birthday.
It's never too early for alpha.
Never too early, and
So whatever you want to share with us.
no, actually, it's better. Don't share it now. Wait until this thing is done, and then give us the invites to whatever awesome event you guys are planning.
I will say
Okay,
that,
okay.
that you and your crew do host some of the best parties. So I'm assuming that for this year anniversary, a party is in store.
Yeah.
Hey, have you been speaking to someone? What's going on?
I don't know how you guys top yourselves. I like underground whiskey tastings, like
Hey, man.
speakeasies, all sorts of
This
things.
is. I mean, actually, like, huge shout out to there's a contributor called M, and a few of the other people who like organize all of that, and they're just huge shout out to them. They've done a spectacular job, and yeah, it's bigger and better every time. So I'm excited, and I'm sure you guys will be pleasantly surprised for the next stuff that's coming.
That's awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous. Benjamin got one of those erect hats before, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that hat is fucking amazing. I
Man,
mean,
I
sorry
came
for my
back with
French.
the newspaper, with the hats, with the
Yeah.
sticker,
yeah.
showing it off to the
You
whole
so
team.
like Rect is obviously like its own project, right? But what's going on is like they have these NFT like ticket things, so you can get one of those. It's pretty cheap. It's like 0.01 ETH, I think, and redeem them like permissionlessly, completely anonymously, and you get all of that like delivered to you plus some like perks. I did it. I've done it
Oh,
a few times now.
that's good to know.
I
That is that,
yeah, I'd recommend it. It's like really high quality stuff, and like I like framed the newspaper, and now I've got it hanging in my room. But yeah, you should check that out for sure. I think in terms of like merch for Stake DAO as well, the stuff has really taken like a level up. We've got some really really cool stuff coming for the new for the next kind of conferences, and perhaps even like a redeem feature. Um, so yeah, you guys might know about like the Palace, where users can essentially like stake some tokens and you earn some points. So like
mhm.
imagine if you could use those points for like community gated kind of rewards,
Wow,
like real
very
physical NFTs, and yeah. So there's some like cool stuff definitely coming. And yeah, glad you liked it, Ben. I think we can sort you out as well though. No worries. We don't want anyone to be excluded.
no,
No, no.
it's fine. It's something I wear with a lot of pride within the team. You know.
He did. He was like, no, not anyone can get these hats. It's like only exclusive, like friends.
Ah, okay,
Friends can get
okay.
the
That's what he's
hat.
doing. This is letting you guys. It's FOMO, man.
It was a hell of FOMO. But I'm assuming that swag was not the reason why you really got into crypto. Um, what was that thing, or what was that one little piece that flipped the switch in your mind?
Yeah. So actually, it's quite funny. So it was like a complete side thing. It was not my main focus at all. It was kind of like a de-stress sort of thing. So previously, before I got like full time into crypto, I used to travel quite a lot for like my traddy job. So I ended up being in airports quite a lot, and those were the only kind of times which I had alone to myself. So one of my friends like recommended to de-stress. What might be cool is like just kind of mess around on Paint or like, one of these like drawing softwares on your laptop. And I ended up starting doing that, and I actually minted some NFTs. Like this was before like the whole craze, and people were making like millions off of NFTs or whatever. It was just like a fun thing to do. So I like started minting stuff on Rarible, and eventually I came across Julien. Like it was so weird because it was just this guy who's clearly been in the space for many, many years. He's got like 20,000 followers or whatever. And I was just like ended up messaging him, connecting over the internet, and that's actually how I got like really deep into crypto, and started working for the DAO and kind of transitioning more from the stuff I used to do like officially as my job, in Stake DAO like officially. So that's actually how I got started. Just like memes and Paint, Microsoft Paint, pretty much.
I love it because you started that to de-stress, and then
Oh,
you got
yeah.
into the crypto world.
And you know,
Yeah, exactly. I did a little bit of like 4D chess with myself, really.
you rugged yourself. What can I say?
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, even though sometimes it does feel like, and I'm sure you guys have this too, that we're working 24/7. I don't think there's any other place where you can get such like instant feedback, which helps you like deliver better products, and also like instant gratification as well, right? Like you deploy something into prod and instantly it's got like 20 million TVL or 25 million TVL, and you're just like, wow. There's like nowhere else in the world which is like this. So yeah, as much as it's stressful, I don't think that I'd giving it up anytime soon.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree with you. The timelines are very different in crypto. I think it used to be like, in traditional world it's 2 weeks, maybe a month. Whereas in like in
Yeah,
crypto, it's like,
and then
can you
you
get
have
it
the
done yesterday?
reviews. Yeah, like there's so much, and now it's just like, okay, you just press the button and it's go time.
Exactly. So
How did you guys get into crypto?
Yeah, I mean, we both have very different, I think, introductions to crypto. Both been in the space for a while. I personally got in because my brother was very into crypto, and he was always bugging me like, hey, you gotta check it out. You gotta buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum. And so
Mhm.
eventually we ended up doing a startup, like early on, some infrastructure stuff.
Oh, okay.
And yeah,
and when he said buy, did you buy?
well, I was a student. I didn't have any money, but as soon as I got a job, like it became my RRA, and I just started dumping money into ETH.
Yeah,
Um, Best decision I've ever made. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
nice.
For myself, it was through hackathons. I was a math major, and I would go around to a couple different hackathons around the U.S. And then I went to one. It was Money 2020 in 2014, and I was introduced to a company called Blockchain.com. They had an API that we could fiddle around with, um, and through that, that's when I was really kind of I dived a little bit deeper into BTC. Also, BTC
Okay.
was BTC was
Bitcoiner. What can I say?
Yeah, Maxi.
Well,
Huh?
so the thing is like the founder of Silk Road, Ross, he actually went to my university, and
All right, right.
yeah, my university doesn't like to talk
Okay,
about it,
cool.
but I do.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of talk about him going to jail, BTC, Silk Road. And so
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
all of that's super amazing. So let me
Yeah, if you got arrested, let me do that. Let me.
Yeah, man,
Uh,
you've hit a lot of keywords. Like if you wanted the CIA to monitor the school, you've got it. We got our FBI agents now. Straight up.
Right,
for real.
we got a couple. Say hi, guys.
um, yeah, and so that's how I got in, and then just from there, just continued to throw more money at stuff mindlessly, and
You got down
look
the
at
rabbit
different
hole.
projects. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think now we're all very much DeFi natives, and like couldn't see a world outside of that. You know, I
Yeah.
open sometimes like my Bank of America account, and I'm like, what's this? Where's my ledger? Like,
Yeah,
how unsafe is this? So glad to see we're all in the rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've checked my actual bank account in a couple months.
Yeah, like I don't even use it. It's so archaic. But yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
moving back to it, some people, I think everybody's heard of Stake DAO before, in some way or another. If not Stake DAO, Stake Capital or Rect. Um, could you go through, I guess, what Stake DAO is, and then I guess everything else that's in the kind of like Stake umbrella?
Sure, sure. So just starting with Stake DAO, essentially what we wanted to do was offer DeFi to everyone, right? So like prior to, I mean, obviously you had like the compounds, kind of like balancer, synthetics, all of these kind of things, which were slowly opening up the world of DeFi to everyone. But there was still like quite a lot of barriers. I mean, even like you can imagine what it's like today. Like a year ago, it was even worse, right? Like getting into a strategy was so complicated. There weren't really like that many UIs. You had to like make sure your wallet was like set up a specific way and all of this like difficult stuff. So StakeDAO is essentially designed just to make DeFi accessible for everyone, and that included things like offering the best yields, as well as having kind of safer investments, so to speak, with like proof of stake delegation. So like you'll see we run like validators and stuff. Since the inception, we've had like a lot of new stuff come in. Obviously, like innovations, such as like the option strategies, which we've been offering to let people hold, I guess you could say like blue chip assets, such as like ETH and BTC, within the crypto space and get like almost like a free return on them, right? Um,
Mhm.
then the next stage was kind of like deploying an easy UI where people could ape into stuff like without having to use contracts or without having to do like too many different, I guess, clicks.
Mhm.
Then it was like about like getting a dashboard so you could like monitor your portfolio. But one of the like really cool things I think when we really noticed some growth was understanding that the community likes to be taken on like a bit of a journey. So that's when we started this process, and pioneered by Julien was this whole idea behind like gamifying being involved in like strategies, right? So it'd be like, okay, I'm in this strategy, and it provides like more value to the DAO than any other strategy, so I should be rewarded for it. So we built this concept of like the NFTs, which could let people not only like invest but go on this like journey, right? So if you give to the DAO gives back to you. So you have this NFT, then you get like boosted returns, and you can like stake it somewhere and earn these points, which you can use to like redeem another NFT, which gives you access to like a special strategy with really high APY that like you don't actually need to park any funds in. You just get rewards for it, like all of this kind of stuff. Um, but at a really high level, Stake DAO is just about ensuring that no one has to use like Bank of America ever again, right?
Right.
That's like the way that I would describe it. Like Bank of America or like JP Morgan, like whoever is like these Wells Fargo, all these like retail banks, no one ever has to use it again. But at the same time, incorporating all of the best stuff about cryptocurrencies and blockchains in the sense of being permissionless, unstoppable, and accessible by everyone forever. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I mean,
that's
there's a lot of topics we can get into, like gas and all of this kind of different stuff, which is now a
Right.
barrier to entry.
mhm.
But we're kind of innovating a little bit more with you guys in particular, like on Polygon, growing out so everyone can use it basically.
No, I really love that. I love that you guys are making it, one, easier for people to get into the space, but then two, you also have, if I'm not mistaken, the Staked Out Academy to make it easier for people to understand the space as well.
Yeah, man, that's a really good shout out actually. So this is a couple of contributors that came together who were pretty new to the DeFi space. They had never actually learned about what it means to like ape into a strategy or whatever, and they were like, hey, we need some resources. So they just started building out this like own internal wiki, which eventually turned into Academy, like Stake DAO Academy, right? So it's academy.stakedao.org, and you can just go on there, and there's a bunch of like really really basic stuff which I think a lot of us take for granted, right? Like even just like what is a smart contract, like what is an RPC, what is Polygon, like even just stuff like that. um and then it goes into like more advanced concepts such as like how to, I think some of the new articles are about like how to hedge risk, and like what is a call option, what's a put option, like all of these kind of stuff. And it's part of getting more people involved and comfortable with these like scary concepts, which otherwise are like reserved for, you know, like really advanced traders or whatever else. And
Yeah.
a bit of alpha. Like there's this new concept again about like gamifying, which is around learn to earn, right? So like you learn, you do a little quiz or you do like something else, and you get like rewarded for that, right? Not only like your like internal growth and those kind of metaphorical concepts, but like actual value, like you get value delivered to your wallet for being smarter. So that's something which is coming out pretty soon.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool, and I love like learn to earn. That has a ring to it.
Learn to earn. Yeah, we've
Learn
heard
to
play
earn.
to earn. I haven't
Yeah.
heard learn to earn.
It's better than stock to flow for sure.
That's for damn sure.
No, but that's really cool because I think people already don't understand finance. So you add in like the whole eclectic, you know, like the technology that comes with it, all the extra steps, the fact that like today DeFi doesn't have the best UI in the world for like normies, right? So that's pretty cool.
Man, for sure. And you know, like one of the things I think, because we're predominantly like Western educated, I think we take for granted a lot of these concepts, like even like basic economics, right? Or
Right.
utilizing like a computer to, I don't know, manage our like internet banking account. A lot of the people that we see as well interacting, particularly on side chains or L2s or whatever, do come from backgrounds where they don't necessarily have access to even like an internet bank, right? Or a lot of funds to deploy. So for them, like all of these really basic concepts that we take for granted, they're not taught in school. They haven't learned through just like needing to do it for life. So I think it's a really important point of actually achieving this like altruistic goal that crypto is truly for everyone, and not just, you know, like us who are realistically the 1% out of the entire world. So yeah, no, I actually really appreciate you calling that out. Academy.Stake DAO is something which is really close to our hearts, and it's nice to see people actually know about it and use it. Like, yeah, we should do an article about QiDao and lending.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be very, very cool. Yeah, we have sort of like an education committee, but we haven't really done this whole like learn to earn. I think that's pretty.
Yeah, man,
awesome
for sure. Like we have we do like thought pieces as well as like more kind of official like wiki pieces, and then we have this podcast as well where we let like founders talk about their project and what they're bringing onto DeFi. And it's like completely, you know, it's not like a shill kind of thing. It's literally just like here's a platform, and it lets our community kind of get involved with the broader DeFi ecosystem as well. I think we should get you guys on there. I'm not sure if you're already on there or not.
Not yet, but I think that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be dope.
I love that.
That'd be really cool. 100%.
That'd be really cool. I know that you had mentioned a few different markets that you've seen that don't have access to like computers, all that kind of good stuff. What is your market, or what's your target market here?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Actually, this is something that it's a question that we continuously come back to, like what is our target market? Because it's fine starting with this broad goal of like DeFi for everyone, but there's so many different categories which fit within that, right? Like you rightly identified. So in the beginning, we were aiming really for retail, right? Like we had very few strategies. We had like particularly like safe or like entry level crypto assets, right? And we just offered strategies on like stable coins or ETH and BTC. And we noticed actually we had quite a lot of users who you could say like small tickets, right? Like under $1,000 or whatever. But I think what attracts a lot of people to crypto, particularly back then, was like this moon boy kind of. I started out with $1,000 and I've got like, I don't know, like 1 million in like 30 days. And you see this guy get like a bunch of Twitter followers and everyone's like, yeah, I can do it too. I got $1,000. Like the mindset wasn't really like, okay, I'm going to stick my $1,000 into like a curveball, which is going to yield me like 10, 15% a year, or even like 50, 80%. Like I think a couple of our stablecoin strategies have like 130% or whatever. But as against like some rebasing coin, which is on like infinity APY, no one cares, right?
Right.
So we actually realized like these type of strategies, which were considered a little bit more safe and providing like risk adjusted yield, were dominated by like bigger wallets. Whereas like the kind of more degen strategies, I mean, if you can call it that, we audit everything pretty nicely, but like the more kind of degen strategies were getting a lot of like smaller ticket wallets, because there's this whole concept of like, I can make it through crypto, which is one of the really beautiful things about it. So we slightly changed our strategy. Rather than focus on like users, we focused on providing different scenarios for people, right? So like one is this kind of like crazy high yield, which is based on the arbitrage strategy, which is like super safe, but because it's so special in the sense, I think it's getting like 700% APY or whatever, we wanted to reward those users who were most kind of bullish and on the DAO and were kind of putting their money to work in that sense. So like those that were providing LP for like SDT ETH. So we had DEX liquidity, those that were staking their SDT, being like active on governance forums, etc. So we let them like mine this NFT for free. So you just kind of park, like if you're staked in the Sanctuary, which is our like the native token staking contract, you get a yield distributed from the performance fees that we make. But we built another contract on top of that where you could stake your tokens, continue earning a yield, but get these like in-game currency almost, like points. Inside we call them Ellie points, or that's at least what I'm trying to push. And you can redeem those points for NFTs, and these NFTs act as like your access card into the arbitrage strategy and like other kind of special features on Stake DAO. And those like points were designed in a way that smaller tickets could earn the points faster than like bigger wallets. And we actually saw that like a lot of the NFTs are redeemed by people who have like really, I guess like crypto relative to crypto, like quite small wallets. And they get either like a free NFT, which I think the floor was like 4 ETH or something, right? Which would typically be like 3-4 times the guy's wallet or girl's wallet. And if you decide to keep that, you can sell that NFT. But if you decide to keep it, you get this like crazy high yield on essentially nothing. Like you don't even have to do anything. It's really
Sweet
cool.
deal, man.
Julian basically made like, yeah, he from on like AVAX, he basically does a bunch of arbitrage, and like a couple of our engineers are on there and they just generate yield. And we just distribute this to users. But so like going back to who this was for, this was designed for like smaller tickets who were supporting the protocol, right? And then we have like more kind of passive strategies for when, let's say you have like turbulent times in the market, like loads of volatility or whatever, you want stable coins, right? Like Degen Spartan is all in stable coins. So this strategy is designed for him. So we offer like a couple of different ways to generate yield, like the kind of vanilla curve pool, boosted yield through VE curve, because obviously we're whitelisted on curve. And then we have this like slightly more innovative thing where we essentially sell options to market makers and use that premium to return a reward for our users. And this is kind of designed for those users that might be holding ETH BTC rather than stablecoins, but they want to get like a return on them. And then, as always, we all have our like token, which is like precious to us, right? Like Kila, you were a Bitcoin maxi. I don't know if you still are. Ben, I don't know. Maybe you're
Stable
like
max.
He's
like a
stable.
live pay
Stable
maxi
maxi.
or whatever. Yeah, we're all Stake DAO maxis.
Of course.
And like so what you can do is delegate to our validators and get like our luckily we found a sick DevOps team, and now our validators are normally like top 10, top 20 like globally. So yeah, like you guys can just, I don't know, say you've been accumulating since like 2015 on some random coin. You can delegate it and participate in validating the blockchain and earn rewards. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about what we offer. And the next kind of narrative, which is becoming quite strong, I think, at least in DeFi, is this idea of voting power, right? As
Right.
as as protocols are providing utility, their governance token is considered like an even stronger asset, not because of its like dollar value, but rather because of the influence that you can have. So we've been like pretty active in this space, and we're building out a couple of new concepts which haven't actually been seen in DeFi, which enable users to, hold on to and actually use that voting power, rather than just kind of, like printing free incentives. So yeah, I mean, that might be out pretty soon. I hope Julian's not watching this because I might get a blame.
It's okay. It's okay. I
if
didn't
I
send him the link or anything, so kind of
if
blocked
I
them on
if I
Twitter
suddenly
too.
drop off, you know what happened.
No, it's pretty cool. I think as you start to see all these kind of dApps launch cross chain, voting has become an issue, right? Because like at least for a lot of us that are not necessarily transacting on Ethereum a lot,
Yeah.
you don't want to go to Ethereum to vote. Love
Exactly.
Ethereum, but it's just I'm not gonna pay thousands of
I
dollars
mean,
to
even
vote.
if voting is free, you're so right. Like the bridging and stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's this other concept of like, to be honest, being involved in governance is hard, right? Like if I've got $100 worth of a token which has like 200 million market cap, my $100 isn't going to make a difference. So one, why would I care? And two, like it's a lot of work keeping up with proposals, like applying your mind to like, I don't know, forecast ahead, like what's the best strategy, etc. So there's what we're building kind of takes into account these issues as well as cross chain, and will hopefully provide a useful public good for DeFi.
That's awesome. I'm pretty excited. I heard hints of that earlier, and yeah, hopefully
Yeah,
we can see some.
I might have released a little bit too much alpha in my excitement, but we'll just pretend.
No, it's fine. We'll crop this out and then we'll post it like just by itself, and we'll add Julian.
Hi, Julian.
Licky sheep. Licky sheep.
Bonjour.
Perfect.
Yeah. So you guys are like building on like it sounds a little bit like you're in like Beefy, right? Where you guys have these strategies, but like the ease of use of perhaps one of those CFI applications like I don't know, like Nexo, Celsius. Do you guys ever see yourselves like going into the CFI world, perhaps like custodial wallets, things more for like normies, or
Man,
um,
we're already there. I mean, some like CeFi applications, utilize strategies in DeFi, and I'm not sure that it's like talked about too much. I'm not sure what like the whole kind of thing is around there, but obviously not everyone is gonna, even download a MetaMask or like buy a ledger and ape into an unaudited smart contract. Like that's only for the very brazen, right? Just saying we are like pretty audited, never been hacked, never been on Rec News. That was a joke for all of you out there. But yeah, I think that is definitely in the picture, and some steps have already been taken to that end. Particularly within like stablecoin returns and like I don't know, like offering what's it called, like staking as a service, I think that's the term.
right.
So certainly I think another thing is like there's everyone's specialized in something, right? Like you guys are really good at lending, that's why a lot of people come to you lending, like that's why we came to you for this. Having like a stable coin, like we offer like strategies which can offer like a safe return for everyone and they don't get hacked and all of this kind of stuff. Similarly, you have like these people who are registered in a jurisdiction in like United States, like Circle or someone like that, so they can provide this like KYC service to clients. And on the back end, they might not know as much about like smart contracts or whatever. And so this is where I think the entry point for someone like Stake DAO is going to be, yes, we service like DeFi, but we also provide like the back end infrastructure for protocols to get a return. So those particularly within DeFi at the moment, we have like a lot of protocols utilizing our strategies, and we've built out custom strategies for them with like fee sharing model, etc. But then we also provide like the infrastructure for some more centralized solutions, you could say, who provide like a front end, and we do all of the kind of like magic internet money stuff in the back end.
Well, I didn't understand that term.
No, I've never heard of that term.
What?
I don't know what that is. Moving on.
I did have a question. Who's creating these strategies like on the teams? Like, what's that
Yeah,
process
so
like?
we have quite a few engineers actually. There's like I wouldn't say like any one person deploys like one
Mhm.
strategy. We have a framework for deployment. So we have this is one of the really cool things, right? Like we've tried to maintain a flat structure, so we don't just get involved from like the engineering side, but we also try and bring in people who might be like super close to the community, or they might be like researching stuff around the latest like technologies or whatever, and we try and feed them into like this ideation phase for new strategies. And
Mm.
then when it comes to like actually building them, we have like a pretty big team, I'd say, relatively speaking, for crypto. And we go through like either pair coding or like just a bunch of us together working on a strategy, like reviewing it, um, and going through stages where we actually like test it out and we try and like break it, right, or hack it ourselves,
Yeah.
just to make sure that we're comfortable. And then let's say we're working with someone else, or there's an opportunity to build on top with them. We'll partner with like other DeFi teams to make sure that the code that's being deployed is like scalable, composable, and safe. So by the time that it gets out to like the end user, it's already been through at least like 20, 30 different sets of eyes, right? And yeah, that's kind of how we try and do stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think internal testing is very key, right? Because
Yeah,
sometimes you can audit it and nobody's going to know it as well as you do, right? So that's pretty good.
definitely. And like the as you guys know, like once you deploy something, it's out there, right? And it's actually super stressful, like development in this environment, because you're releasing something which people are going to park like millions of dollars worth of funds into, and it's like it's so scary. Like it's so scary, so you have to be like absolutely sure that this
Yeah.
thing isn't going to end up on rec news. um
Yeah.
Yeah, you read the cream stuff, you read all the, I mean, I read Rect religiously, and
Man,
it
I know,
gets you
it's
nervy,
crazy,
you know?
it's
We have hair coloring
insane.
appointments like once a month just to get rid of the grays.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you don't want to lose people's money. You know what I mean? Because a lot of
Yeah,
people,
exactly.
like, it's like their life savings, right?
Yeah.
So
Man,
Yeah.
you have
exactly,
to be very
exactly.
careful.
And like having said that, like each hack is better for the space because it helps us grow. But I just hope it's not like us that gets hacked. I like in an ideal world, I hope no one would get hacked, right? But
Hmm.
it's bound to happen when you have people like pushing the boundaries of whatever's possible.
Right. I mean, if there's a honeypot, there's somebody trying to go after it, right?
Oh yeah, straight up.
Mm.
We do have a community question. Just the auditing strategy. What is the auditing strategy? Like, do you
The
go get?
the
Mhm.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Like, what is, like, I guess, the external auditing strategy?
So as you can imagine, a lot of auditors are extremely busy, and to be very honest, a lot of them are like ending up on rec news anyway,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
yeah. We
Yep.
know.
So I think our approach, obviously, like chain security, very good, right? So thankfully Julian has like a lot of contacts in the space, and of course himself and like our team. We have like a big contingent who are focused on security prior. So we really use those like literally like speak. This is why we have this concept of like first internally trying to break it, and then going to other teams and utilizing their experience, right? Like even like you guys, or like people. Let's say we develop something on. I mean, but like different example, but like Solana or whatever, we'd want people who are like really deep into Rust, right? So we'd
Mhm.
find like the team who are building out on Solana, and we'd like kind of speak to them like, hey, this is the code, like what do you think? And really it's about like not rushing stuff. Like we don't just try and push stuff out of the door, right? Um and as you can imagine, like although there are different projects, there is somewhat of a proximity to Rec News because obviously Julien advises and is like associated with that, but like they would have no mercy on us, right? And
Yeah.
Right.
like
Yeah.
I literally would have nightmares about this kind of stuff. So I think
Because
that
they
like
don't hold back.
fear, yeah, man. I think they would even go harder because like yeah, like you hit your brother harder than you'd hit a randomer, like
Right.
so yeah. I mean, I think our approach is really about like having different layers, particularly because like auditing firms, one, the best are always occupied. So
Yeah.
you can use it to in like steps, right? Like, can you review this like part of the strategy? This is connected to this, which you've already reviewed before. Like, do you think it's fine? And like iterate on it that way, and then just through using like the network. So this is why it's so important to remain like friendly with the wider DeFi space. One, for like innovating new concepts together, but also two, like every now and then you need a hand, right? And
Yeah.
who better to do it than those building with you?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Peer audits.
that's kind of like our approach and strategy. Um, on the flip side, we do have like a catch-all kind of thing. So we offer insurance through Nexus Mutual, and we're working on something which is a little bit more designed around like bounties, just in case. And of course, I think we'll probably develop out something which is like a little bit more available for people to experiment with, so to speak. Um, so like they could push the boundaries of whatever's possible without actually having to deploy on mainnet or having like funds at risk. So this would be something more like a simulator, or like things like Tenderly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Okay.
cool.
Got you. Yeah. So the name is Stake DAO, right?
Yes.
So there's the DAO at the end of it. How do
Yes.
people interact, and how is the DAO governed?
Cool. Yeah, really good question. So we took a lot of time to define um, what we do and how we do it in our latest governance proposal. So this was, I think it's SDIP 9 or SDIP 8 maybe. And essentially we wrote out all of the different structures that exist within Stake DAO, which include like decision making frameworks, like delegated powers, um, sections within the team, so to speak. Obviously, it's like a bunch of freelancers all just like together sharing degen memes and stuff, right? But each one of these is focused on like a different aspect. So you might have some people who are focused like on marketing or like engineering, but like a subset of engineering, like the front end or like smart contracts or like DevOps or whatever. So we have these like different, I guess, like colonies within the DAO, and then because we have a flat structure, we just kind of report into this central like forum or like parliament, and that's how we like self-govern inside. And obviously, there's different decision-making powers and processes for achieving consensus. So what we tried to do over like 3-4 months was just write down all of these things and specify them in a really concise manner for the community, and published our thoughts on forum.stakedao.org, which is kind of like most other like for example Ethereum, it has like improvement proposals. It's the same kind of concept. So like people can look at these discussions or suggestions posted onto the forum, and then they can comment or ask for more information or clarification, amendments, whatever. And then after consensus has been reached there through just like discussion and comments, we can post it for on-chain voting, and then you can vote with your XSDT or SDT tokens and kind of ratify these decision-making processes on chain. And then it's just implemented, right? Because it's part of like the testaments of the DAO.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how we do it. Yeah, I mean, we try and remain like as open as possible. So we do take feedback from, because obviously not everyone's going to write up a proposal. We take feedback from like Discord or Telegram, and we'll just invite like community members to be like, hey, like, okay, this was a cool idea. Can we ask you a couple questions about it? And try and go through there. And then typically we'll like write up a proposal when it gets to that stage, or if they can't do it, we'll like do it for them, kind of thing. But yeah, this is something that we're really building out a lot more. We had a couple of people reach out to us actually following LizCon, who knew about Stake DAO, and they were like uh, relative like experts in this area, and they were like, hey, like I'd love to work with you guys. And they are actually now like part of the team. Like I have like calls with them pretty much every day, and they're like, hey, we got this cool new concept or like this new process or whatever, like we're gonna release it to the public, see what they think. I have a call with them today actually, just after this. So yeah, keep
Nice.
an eye out.
I mean, those are the best. Like I think all of our hires post launch have been like through the community,
Yep.
just people that
Yeah,
pick stuff up and say, "Hey, this doesn't work," or this could be
exactly.
improved. I know one such person that's in the audience, um, Royal Aid, and just people that are really helpful and eventually come on board.
Yeah,
It's the
those
best.
those
It's
are
the
the
best
best,
way to
like the proactive. Yeah, like the proactive people who like care about the project. They're kind of like
Mhm.
with you, right? Like they're your homies. So what like this random person is taking time out from their day to help better this thing, which
Mhm.
like you should bring them along the journey. Those are like
Right,
the best,
it's
most
passion.
motivated. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's passion. They know the project. They know the community and the vibe. So they
yeah,
usually help.
exactly.
Now, aside from voting, what can people do with SDT?
So you can earn like this is the thing which I mentioned before. So you can like stake it into a contract which we call the sanctuary. So it's like the sanctuary for the elephants.
Mm.
And yeah,
Cute.
yeah, yeah. You like it. And you can get a yield on that basically without having to like claim and compound your position or whatever. It's just like gasless accruing yield which is based on the performance fees that the other contracts like generate, like from the strategies, the staking, etc. So you can just earn a yield, and like technically, like if you put in one SDT and you never touch it again, like generational wealth in a few years. And then what you can do is stake those XSDT, which is like the yielding version of that token, into what we call the palace. Um, and that's where you earn these points, which you can use to
Mm.
redeem NFTs, and soon much more, right? So
Oh,
these can be thought of as like a in-game currency, so to speak.
gotcha.
So yeah, valueless in-game currency.
Oh,
Uh, that's,
don't
pretty
worry,
But
we
yeah,
funny.
wrote
so
this together.
Yeah. What is the
yeah,
type of yield that you're getting right now, or like average yield?
on SDT or on
Yeah,
the
on SDT.
strategies. So you can get like 24% on like the base, but
That's
then
all.
as I mentioned, like you have all of these like other different like things that you can do. So it's almost like a game, right? Like for example, if I got some points and I redeem this NFT, I can sell it straight away, and that I guess like adds to my yield. Which
Correct.
we've run some numbers and it actually like adds up to a lot. Or you can get like a different type of NFT which boosts your return across Stake DAO. So what we do is every week we take a snapshot of your deposits, right? And based on whatever value you're providing to the DAO in terms of like performance fees or like I don't know, say you're doing like something else cool for the DAO, you get a boosted yield. So it acts like a curve locker in a way, like a VE curve locker, but with an NFT, right? So if you've got it, then you get a boosted yield on your strategy deposits, and that is like automatic. And that is weighted more towards the smaller wallets. Like I mentioned before, like we really wanted people to like get a reward for who are trying to like make it in crypto, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, that can like boost your yield, I think, by up to like 50%, right? So yeah, you have like those, and then every now and then we get like an airdrop randomly. Like some we'll find out like some project has taken a snapshot of everyone holding like XSCT or SCT or whatever. So we'll just sell that and like send it to the users.
I like that. I really like that a lot. I think the whole DAO, I mean, our DAO has been thinking about, how can we engage like smaller people, like not smaller
Yeah,
people with smaller token positions, right?
yeah,
So it
yeah,
doesn't just become like a whale game.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then
It's
and
the
then it's
whale,
not to say
whale,
like
whale.
we're
I'm a chimp. I'm a chimp. He's the whale. You're an elephant. Yeah. So,
yeah, like we're we're
hearing
we're
it.
not we're not against small people or big people. We love all kinds of people. But I think we're also like it's just different strategies, right? Like someone who's like a BTC whale, like Kila, would like to just get a return, right,
Right.
on their BTC. They don't want to sell their BTC. They don't want to like risk putting it into some like smart contract or whatever. They just want to yield. Um, so we have like different strategies for those and different NFTs actually for those as well. Like it's pretty crazy. I think our unique Tamil, like our unique Pythia, they all have really like kind of like lore type of names. So if you look into the history and the metadata, you'll find out a bunch of crazy info. The guys went super deep. but those like larger NFTs, they sold for like 100K or like 200K or whatever. And actually, for like a large wallet, which is like, like talking like 1 to 5 mil, for them it represents a really good return because it boosts their yield, and they can, they get access to like the arbitrage strategy or whatever. So yeah, they can really stack that like 20-30% up to 3 digits very quickly, and beyond as well. And the whole idea is that it's for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what you can do with
So Benjamin, you
SDT
have to spread it out a
for
little bit.
now.
Okay. Split your wallets, right?
Benjamin's gonna have to split his wallet. So.
Yes, all $5, right?
But like I said, for SDT, the new kind of this like new thing that we will be releasing is gonna really unlock a lot of that influence for the tokens, rather than just like yield. Like it's really about this new narrative around DeFi, about like governance and influence, and this new very special thing that we've been working on is really tied to unlocking governance power for users, and that will give SDT another utility.
Awesome. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna everybody just hold up. I'm gonna open up quick comments and start buying some SDT. But yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for answering those questions. I did want to chat a little bit about our partnership, right? How we're gonna be working together. We've been chatting a while, right? About different ways that we can collaborate.
Wait, since when?
Since this little conference that I never talk about, HCC, I got my red hat, but nobody got it except for me because special.
Yeah, man, we've known each other for a really long time now. Actually, I feel like I know you guys really well.
Yeah, it's been quite a bit.
Yeah, he came back with like a little French mustache, eating baguettes for like weeks.
Oh yeah, man. Flexing.
Completely turned.
Beautiful. I think I can see it now a little bit.
Oh no, that's just not sleeping, man. There's two different things. No, but yeah, I mean, we'd love to hear from you. If you could talk to the audience about what it is that our partnership is, and what's being done.
For sure, yeah. So I think it was Albert Einstein who described like lending as the eighth wonder of the world, right? So I think that's really how we see QiDao, the eighth wonder of the world. So we want to use like the best, most innovative products across DeFi, and I think one of the really, really cool things which we discussed now, like a long time ago, and the main narrative in DeFi was like lending and letting people, obviously you had solutions like Aave, but they were a little bit more gated, so to speak. Like you had to have like a really like blue chip asset or whatever, and then even then you could only borrow like certain amounts of collateral, and it wasn't like great UX. So when we started exploring this, what we really wanted was to take the same ethos of like, it doesn't just have to be catered to whales, but let anyone get access to like lending in a safe way, and be able to either like mint some kind of new token, or borrow against their existing asset, and be able to either get leverage or diversify or whatever else, right? For whatever reason, or even just unlock a bit of collateral, like if they wanted to, I don't know, make a down payment for a car or whatever. So I think that was like the main ethos which we were coming into it with QiDao. I know now, since ECC, you guys have like grown and you've released like a bunch of new features and like cross-chain and all of this kind of exciting stuff, which I think we're really, really will see a lot more our partnership grow into. But for now, the main thing is to offer essentially all of our users on Polygon and Avalanche in the strategies to be able to essentially get access to lending markets for those strategy assets. And one of the like really cool things which I like about the way that you guys do stuff is like, you can have a token which is yield bearing, right? Borrow something from that, and then essentially your yield just pays off your loan over time. Like, I know it doesn't exactly work like that, but like at a high level. And yeah, I think once you open up this barrier of being able to unlock I guess a portion of your capital, the whole world's our oyster, right? So I think we can expect to see a lot of like custom kind of strategies maybe built on top, or maybe something
Yeah.
something like automatic like leverage, or like Polygon. Obviously, like transaction speeds and transaction costs are really cheap, right? So could even
Yeah.
I don't know, like imagine trading some like coins on leverage, like live, like creating like a 10 times buy on a position, or like 10 times short, or whatever, creating like derivatives or like options, whatever else.
Right.
Have you been speaking to our team about what's in our pipeline?
Yeah, man. Why do you think I call Benjamin so much?
Right. I do think, like, once you unlock like leverage, I mean, by leverage I mean lending, you can do
Mm.
so much. Especially with you guys having such fancy strategies, like you can put that on top and then just go wild really with the
Yeah, and I
strategies.
think I think like one of the cool things which I do want to mention as well, like the reason why we wanted to work with you guys is there's like this intangible concept around like certain teams who deliver what they say, right? Like there's a lot of people who can promise like a roadmap or whatever, but there's very few people who say something and then deliver it. And you guys have always been like extremely professional, like always available, any type of questions. It's like an open, collaborative environment for building. And I think that's what really differentiated you guys from like the 100 other like lending slash like I don't know, leverage protocols out there. So yeah, I just quickly wanted to shout that out. I think
We didn't pay him, I promise.
I really appreciate
Not
that.
that much, at least, right?
not yet, not yet.
I do have a question about like what like so for us it's 0% interest loans.
Mhm.
How big of a difference is that to you guys compared to I guess a lot of these other other projects out
Without
there
naming any
without
others,
naming any
yeah.
other ones that do interest?
uh, yeah, I mean, I think obviously it makes like a difference to us, but the best thing is like it also makes a difference to the user, right? Like they don't have to worry about, okay, these are like the interest rates or whatever. Like then I got to factor in this extra cost, and how does that affect
Mhm.
my like liquidation ratio? All of this like different kind of stuff, which I think is really really special about QiDao. To be honest, I think in the end it benefits users quite a lot. For us, naturally, we want to give our users the best experience. And when someone's promising like something 0%, it's like, okay, what's the catch? Like, is this
Right.
a rug pull? Like, is this something else? But obviously, like you guys, we know you really well, and we've seen and tested your product. So, um, yeah, I think it just makes a lot of sense. To be honest, the only thing that we need from you is to quickly go on other chains, so that so that we can integrate you everywhere.
Right. No, yeah, we're just like you guys. I think we just want to be in all these chains and really push this cross chain narrative. So
Yeah,
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 this is literally just like step one of a lot of partnership stuff we can do together.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think we offer like a blend of experiences, and it's always cool to see what happens when you just get in a room with a bunch of talented people and have a blank whiteboard. So
Right.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to the future.
Oh,
Let's see.
that's
Oh,
awesome. We do want to respect your time. I think we went way over the time that we had promised you.
No, it's all
we
good.
know that
It's
you
been
have
a
a
it's been a pleasure.
we know you have a busy day, and you mentioned a call after this. Is there anything you wanted to maybe ask the QiDao community before we let you go?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think one of the things we're really big on is strong ideas, but held weekly. And what I mean by that is like believing in what you're doing currently, but being open to feedback and criticism, in all formats that it comes. So if you guys are users of the platform, or you're going on it first time, if you have any like initial thoughts or things that could be better, things that are just downright wrong or whatever, like reach out to us. It can be any kind of medium, even through like QiDao or whatever, and we'll try and integrate that feedback. I think one thing to keep in mind might be um, relatively painful experiences that they might have experienced with other integrations, and things they'd like to see be avoided in the future, so that we can make this like as smooth and as scalable a process for everyone.
perfect. Yeah, that's what I love about DeFi. It's not like, if you don't like something at Walmart, you're not gonna just talk to the CEO, right?
Exactly.
Hey guys,
Yeah,
can you get more of this, right? But with Stake
Yeah,
DAO, like
exactly.
you can just talk to Hatashi. You can
Yeah,
spam
man.
his DMs. Feel free, right?
For sure, always available. And like, even you don't have to talk to anyone. Just if you can make a proposal, right? And if enough of the community believe in it, then here we go.
I love it.
Beautiful. What is the best way to join your community?
So we're on Telegram, so it's Stake DAO HQ. We're also on like Discord, Twitter. The forum is just forum stakedao.org. All of these links are on our website, so stakedao.org. So like literally, if you just go there, or even just go to our Twitter, you can see literally everything. Like they're all in the footer and kind of on like the sidebar and stuff, so you can't miss it. But if you do, just reach out to me on Twitter. Or just DM me, or on Telegram or whatever, and we can go from there.
Perfect. Somebody did ask, like, if we talked a lot of things here. If somebody wants to get involved in Stake DAO, they want to use your products. Where do they go first? What's step one for them?
Step one, I think one of the really cool things that someone from the community did was film a tutorial about like what Stake DAO is, and it's on YouTube. So I just go to YouTube, which is also linked in the footer, and it's just like a really simple, clear walkthrough. We tweeted one of the videos today, which was about the option strat. So I'd probably start there, just like watch the video, listen to what it's about, and if you find something interesting, you can jump onto the academy or just dump like straight into the app. If you need a bit of guidance, you can come to Twitter and Discord, and we've got a bunch of like community members who have become mods essentially, who can help you out. But yeah, like I said, like even I reached out to Julian randomly through the internet, right? And so many people have done that with us as well. So you can always just do that, like just get at us anywhere you want. We just want this feedback.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was really a pleasure.
Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah, man. It's been great to talk to you guys. Thank you both for your time.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well-
And in return, you're not going to put us on Rect, right?
Yeah, that was the agreement,
That was the
right?
agreement.
Hey, man. Rect is completely anonymous, so I can't confirm or
Right.
deny.
Yeah, we don't know who's in Rect, right?
And Rect holds no punches. So
True.
this is something which I don't know. You can DM them about on Twitter if you want.
Yes. Awesome. Well,
Perfect.
thank you so much for your time, and thanks everybody for watching. Until next time.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. See you.